Hi, my name is Nick. I'll be the instructor today, and what we're going to do today, class, is learn how to properly stretch the carpet in a room, okay? First and foremost, we need to learn what type of tools we need for this project. The most important tool that we have is going to be our power stretcher. I recommend that you use this on every single job, regardless how big or small the job is, regardless how big or small the room is. This is the power stretcher head. It's gonna do pretty much all the stretching for us. Then we're gonna bring in the pipes. There's a proper way to bring in the pipes, and it's an improper way to bring in the pipes. This will be the proper way. You don't want to bang in the walls, you don't want to bang into the door jambs, you don't want to bang into furniture, etc. when you carry them in. Sometimes this could happen. As you can tell, this is called we like to call in industry the magic pipe. The reason is, it's very easy to maneuver once you get it. You can lock it in place very quick and very efficient, right? But as you can tell, what can happen if it's not properly carried, you know?
You can also make magical holes in the wall.
Exactly, and everywhere else. All right, so we got our stretcher pipe in. We're only gonna use one for this room, a little bit small. We got a small extension that could always use, and the tail. I think for this project, we're just gonna use the tail, the magic pipe, and the head. The second tool that we're gonna use is the kicker. This is used only for setting in the wall. Never use this to stretch a room in, because obviously you're not going to get the same effectiveness as you do with a power stretcher, okay? So then you got a couple of choices on setting the walls and the carpet at the walls. We prefer to use the plastic over the metal one, due to the fact that metal, you're just going to totally destroy the customer's baseboards, walls, etc. This is a very efficient tool right here. All you got to do, just lock it into the texture, the carpet to the texture, and just push it down with this, and you get a very good stretch out of it, okay? The benefit of using the stretch over the pick is obviously very important thing to know, due to the fact that the power stretcher allows you to properly stretch the whole room in place, while the pick, first and foremost, destroys the carpet itself, and obviously the soft floor underneath. And it's not a very efficient tool to use. Is banned by the manufacturer, and us, the inspectors, when we go on inspection, most likely we're gonna confiscate it from you, because we don't want our installers using it, period. So don't buy it, don't use it, because you're gonna lose it. So there we go. So obviously this has been already cut in place by a previous installer. They set the doorway with stain nails. We like to use those type of nails. They're the best ones and most fitted for the project. If you had carpet in the hallway, obviously the seam would have been made, and you would set the wall in the hallway prior to your stretch across. In this case, we don't have no carpet in the hallway, so we kind of put the stain nails all the way across in a zigzag pattern. That seems to work best over the just straight across method. All right, with that said, we're just gonna start by setting our first wall in with a nice lightly kick. We're gonna set that in place. And with that, we're ready to stretch across. I like to use a 4x4, which there are two 2x4s cut, probably around 4 feet, nailed together, and they're carpeted. This serves two purposes. First and foremost, protects the customer's walls from any damage done by the tail, and also it gives you a nice wall, fake wall I would say, to use in front of doorways that you can stretch off of. We're gonna set our stretcher just probably a couple inches away from the wall. You want to get it onto a 10 to 15 degree angle, and the importance of that is, if you would go straight across, you would shift the whole carpet towards your right. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep the carpet in place and this way you can get a proper stretch. And the most important part of it would be to end up in the corner to the right. So with that said, we're gonna lock our pipes in place, which is a very easy process. You just snap those in place, lock them, and you're good to go. Find your angle.
So I'm just showing this to, like, you know, I use my hand. This actually gives you the full, 8 to 10 inches, whatever length is it.
Make sure the carpet is locked on the tag strip securely before you release the stretcher. Do that like that. And as you can tell, we got it in place. All right, with that secure, you move the stretcher out of your way safely by lifting it. And now what you want to do is set this whole wall. You do that. Okay. Just to make sure it's hooked on it. We always like to do that. That gives you an indication that your carpet is securely locked into place. With that said, I'm gonna turn the stretcher around and do the same thing on the other side. Use the same 10 to 15 degree angle. For obvious, the same reasons. You don't want the carpet shifting while you do your stretch. Put the stretcher securely. Make sure you have the right distance. As you can see, how far that moves and what a nice stretch you get. You lock it in place. And safely release the stretcher. What do you want to do there? Consider you just stretch across. You want to secure that wall to stop the carpet from shifting to your left while you're still stretching. So you move the stretcher out of the way, you get your kicker, and you set up the whole wall. Okay, after doing so, you can bring the stretcher back in place and continue with our stretch. You always want to move your tube to a 4x4. Make sure you try to stay as close to the middle as possible. Continue. As you can tell, I try to keep that 10-degree angle all the way into the corner because you want to end up right in the corner with no bubble. You can hear that carpet grabbing, and that's what you want to hear because that's music to our ears. turn and focus our attention to the last wall. We move our 4x4 back in a position across the doorway. And move safely our stretcher in place. You hear that grabbing? And the last stretch. And that's how we stretch your room. Any questions?
Now, say you take this stretch.
I got
How do
one.
you know if you stretch it too much?
Right, and that's something that-
Oh, you will know.
What do you do then?
Well, first and foremost, the tax strip will pop.
No, like, if
Have you ever stretched far enough where the tax strip did pop? Yeah, well, that sucks. But, especially when you're working on concrete, right? What you realize is that the
You
tax
gotta go
strip
back
probably
and
wasn't
reinforce
fastened
it
right.
by drilling and plugging,
Yeah.
and that's gonna
So-
take you twice as long. So you gotta make sure from the beginning that you know what the carpet needs to be stretched. Usually is about a 1 to 1.5%. The length of the carpet, which in this case, obviously we're working with what, a 8-foot room. You gotta stretch it less than 1 inch, so.
Yeah. What do you think about that thing that's got that scorpion tail sticking out?
But we already addressed that earlier. That's